Produce this show?
You, I hope.
Me?
No, I will. I know you love to. We can argue about who introduces my show.
Do you want to argue? Is this what you've been waiting all day for?
No, our green room experience, I was feeling so mellow, so open-hearted that I couldn't argue back.
And then I came at you like Cerberus?
Who is Cerberus?
Cerberus, what is it, the three-headed dog who guards Hades?
Oh, yeah, I felt like I was in hell last night. You're really right on.
Okay, well, what do you want to do with the time remaining? we only have, our lives are short.
But
what you going to do with what you got left?
You're in such a good mood. Well, I can just be fodder for you. So I was
fatter? You want to be fatter for me?
Fodder.
Okay.
Have we seen him so happy? Maybe not happy isn't the word. Spirited.
I'm a thoroughbred.
Have we seen Michael so spirited? No.
What's the show about? What is this show? Start with what this show is. There are two talking heads on the screen. One of them is hammering his book on his knees.
Yes,
the other is pointing to the book being hammered. What is this?
I once saw a therapist who said no self-hitting. He wasn't my therapist for me.
Self-hitting, self-hating. So what is this book? Do you want to talk about this book?
Is difficult conversation.
Great. You want to have one?
We are. Have you noticed? Wake up.
Are you going to talk about this book?
I'd much rather.
I'm just going to be relaxed.
Tell you to wake up.
I'm going to breathe and
wake
relax
up
through this whole ordeal.
Oh, it's fun to just get strongly vociferous towards someone. No wonder people do it to me, and I take it. Okay.
Oh, so now you're going to shovel it back, is what you're going to do.
Everybody
else, you just take it. But when my turn comes, your so-called best friend,
yes,
very different story.
I love you dearly, actually. It's very interesting. The hell I was in last night.
Oh, tell me about this hell.
After talking to you on the phone, we had a great conversation.
I'm unclear. Did I put you in hell, or did
I
get you out of hell?
No, then I started...
This is why you keep me around, because I pull you out of hell from time to time. Oh, is that not true? Is that not true?
I'm not going to...
Tell me what is true. This show is all about the truth. Please, if you are withholding the truth, cut loose.
Have I helped you out of hell?
Of course you have.
Thank you.
Of course you have.
Yes.
I would like to think that it's been mutual, although you might have helped me out of more hells.
Now we're talking.
Than I have helped you, but that's only because you were cowardly.
Yes, I don't call.
Exactly.
I don't call when I'm in hell.
I'm not afraid to reach out and say help.
This is true. This is true. This is very, very true. And last night, I think my hell was, and it attacks me.
Your hell attacked you?
Oh, but it like tells me how disgusting I am as a human being.
Oh, can you set the stage for us? Was this in your apartment, or was this there somewhere else?
While after talking to you, I was tired, and instead of reading this or other books, I picked up the Time magazine and read about how horrible the world seems to look. And that helped.
And that what? Spiraled you into hell?
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
And then I got out. It was a long trip.
So this is all happening in your apartment?
In my bed.
In your bed?
I had trouble getting to bed. I managed to go out onto the rooftop and pray.
Okay.
Managed.
Well, let me just be, I need to understand. So, before you got into bed, that's when we talked, right?
I talked to you when I lie down and talk late at night.
Okay.
So I'm in bed talking, having a great...
So you were getting ready for sleep, and...
I wasn't, I didn't know that.
Oh.
I thought I would be eating, and I didn't have the strength to make salad. And then...
You suffer from depression?
I think I used to suffer from mass... yes, I have depression. I don't feel like doing anything. Often.
Yeah.
Often one wonderful comedian defined depression. Dick Cavett. I'm don't think I quite have this. He said he wants to kill himself, and he sees a knife on the table, but it's too much trouble to get to the knife.
Dick Cavett spoke very highly of ECT, basically, shock therapy.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
It really turned his life around.
Wow.
Now, this was not the shock therapy from, what was that Jack Nicholson movie, the One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. Not that kind of shock therapy, much milder. ECT is still used regularly, but just a much milder.
Well, that's kind of a crapshoot, no?
Well, all psych medications and treatments are really crapshoots because everybody's body is different. Everybody's physiology responds differently.
Electricity into your body, boy. I know someone who was helped by that too. Came to me for a little therapy.
Yeah. It's kind of, yeah.
Well.
I don't know how we got off onto that tangent.
Yes. But, well, the step out of hell was to focus more in my.
Okay, I need more.
Oh, you need more?
I need more of an understanding of what hell is. What hell was for you last night.
Hell felt like, because of the way I've lived my life, at this age, no wife, no children.
77.
77, no substantial steady job. The books I'm writing are...
Well, you're retired now.
Yeah, so kind of I teach.
You've been retired for most of your
yes, in some ways people think my whole life. And so I was feeling...
Sorry.
No, be yourself. This makes him happy. He thinks he wants to be loving and kind.
I am loving and kind,
he thinks
but I can't help but see the humor in it.
Yes, and he's happy. I'm here to help him be happy. I am a piñata, and he is a pin.
Actually, that was the guy who's running for president in Mexico. There's a giant presidential election in Mexico. I think on Monday or Tuesday.
Close. Yeah.
When? Tomorrow?
Very close. I don't know.
In the next few days. Anyway, his comment about President Trump was, he's not going to let President Trump make Mexico a piñata.
Wow.
That's one of his slogans, I think.
When I went, this is irrelevant but part of hell, when Michael invited me to the rally against to keep parents and children together and not separate them yesterday.
There was yesterday, Saturday, a rally and then a march in Boston, and also, I think, hundreds of cities around the U.S.
Oh, did you march?
Oh, yeah.
Where did you march to?
Marched to the Common, Boston Common.
Oh, my.
And then there were additional rallies after that.
It was nice to march, yes.
It was cool.
Yeah.
It was cool to be, I'm guessing that there were 10,000 people there.
Fine.
It felt like, well, I'm not the only one who
cares about this.
Who cares?
It's nice to feel part of the
yeah.
crowd. Well, but I'm afraid there's a famous paragraph, I guess, from Germany during the Nazis. They came for the gypsies. I'm not a gypsy, I didn't care. Came for the socialists. I'm not a socialist, I didn't care. Came for the gays. I'm not a gay, I didn't care. Came for the Jews. I'm not a Jew, I didn't care. When they came for me, there wasn't anyone there to help me.
I saw a sign that somebody was carrying in the march, and the sign said, "They came for the children," and I said, "Hell no."
Wow. So I'm afraid. I'm trying to be brave, like Nelson Mandela, who said, but I'm afraid ICE is coming for these people now, right? The vulnerable people.
Did you know that ICE was created right after 9/11? It's a new organization.
Wow.
It's not like it's been around for decades.
Ouch. And you know, they might well come for other people. You know, they might come for many of us. Those of us who even are saying things like this on television. Nelson Mandela said,
I have to, can I share a chant?
Yes.
That some folks were singing, that we were singing, chanting during the march. Call and response. Show me what democracy looks like. This is what democracy looks like.
Oh.
Just chanting that back and forth, back and forth.
Oh, that's together. I love that chant. That's lovely. Well, we'll go with chants and songs. I'm afraid for us now. I heard that 50% of Americans now are approving our president, including 50% of millennials.
Where did you hear that?
I heard that from Bill Maher. Michael Moore was on with him. It was not a statistic they were happy to share.
Yeah, well, you remember what we learned about statistics from the last general election? Statistics and polls had Hillary Clinton like sweeping.
Yeah.
Landslide.
Yes.
And look who won. So I would say take the polls with a grain of salt and keep fighting the good fight to the best of your ability.
Yes, and we were there, and we'll continue to be there. So I went into hell after reading Time magazine about what's going on, and hearing Bill Maher and Michael Moore talk about this on Friday. And what got me out, it was a little challenging talking to you in the green room, was to be more in my heart than in my head. And it seemed like my psyche was just getting rid of, feeling like chopping my head off. I can still think, but to begin, I guess as children do, you might know.
Oh, because I'm a child? Is that what you're insinuating?
You can take it as you would say any way you like.
Anyway, please continue. I'm all ears. I'm a child. I'm just a sponge, soaking in everything. Please, continue. Don't stop because of me.
He's happy. He loves these riffs. I wonder how he integrates that with, he wants to be a loving person. And
I am a loving person.
Oh, yes, I love, this is who you are.
Are you going to talk about this book? Are you going to get around to this book?
Maybe.
Okay.
Well, the difference between this book, which is a very, very helpful book, and nonviolent communication, which I am a follower of, is nonviolent communication says the first thing is to connect heart to heart, to make that connection with the other person before really saying anything.
I'm afraid we're going to start getting into the weeds. We haven't even started talking about that yet.
Yes.
And now you're talking about something else, and I'm just.
Thank you.
I'm worried.
I
fear for our show.
For good reason.
Your show.
Yes. Well, maybe it's too late to fear for it.
Maybe it's a lost cause.
Yes. Well, these are at least an opportunity to say on television.
Could you, first of all, I really want to keep you on track. I want to help. I want to do everything that I can to help.
Yes.
So Difficult Conversations is the name of the book. Who wrote it? It's
written by Douglas Stone, Bruce Paton, and Sheila Heen of the Harvard Negotiation Project.
Great.
How to discuss what matters most.
Great.
Very helpful.
Great.
Now,
can you give me a summary of the basic idea of the book, of what it's teaching, in, I don't know, a sentence, 2 sentences, 3 sentences?
No.
What good is that?
Any other questions?
Have you read this book?
Yes.
Have you read it from cover to cover?
Just about finished. I know I did read it from cover to cover, but there might be a few.
And you're unable to like sum up what the book tries to do?
I can begin to read what it says, if you'll let me.
No, I can't.
Yep.
I can't. This is essential, it seems to me.
No, but these are the.
To sum up the book.
This is this.
Okay, let's pretend that I'm Terry Gross.
Yes.
and that you're on NPR.
Yes.
You are on Fresh Air. And you have been waiting for this opportunity for most of your life. You're 77 years old
yes,
now. And at last, Terry Gross,
yes.
the queen of interviewing,
yes.
has invited you on to Fresh Air.
Yes.
And so...
Well, she wouldn't invite me on to talk about someone else's book.
She has heard so much about you and about this book. She has heard that you are the premier spokesperson.
Are you really going to try to get me to do what I cannot do?
Yes, because I think that
I don't want to do?
You don't want to?
What I want
Don't you want to tell people about this book?
I want to begin. I have their summary. I want to begin reading it.
It's not a summary. It's a checklist.
Yes.
That's the title.
Right.
Of that.
See, he won't let me. I want, this is even my
I'm
show.
trying to help you.
No, you're not helpful.
Why do you like this book? Okay, I'm going to walk away, and then I'm going to come back as Terry Gross. Okay?
Well, you can do the first part, walk away.
I'm walking.
Hi there. Let me tell you the checklist of the conversation.
Michael Koran, welcome to Fresh Air. I've heard so much about you.
This is my
and
show.
So much about
this
book.
He's taking over
you have become the premier spokesperson
He is taking over my show and setting up a straw man, which I am not. And I still want, if I actually could quiet him. We have a rule. This is like, I am going to...
Why don't you just send me away? You seem so happy when I was off screen.
I'm allowed to do this to you when you're on screen. You don't know, I don't want you to leave. I want you to stay and be quiet. I know that's...
I'm leaving.
This is his way of leaving. This is his way of inobtrusively leaving. Well, now I have a moment anyway, although it feels lonely. It does feel lonely. A difficult conversation checklist. It really feels lonely.
Are we having a difficult conversation? Would that be fair to say?
I don't even know. I think you're having a good time.
I'm having a blast.
Yes.
I hope that you're having a blast too. You're laughing.
Crying and laughing.
Really? Are you laughing and crying simultaneously?
I think so. Okay, number one. Oh, I can do it. Happiness. Sort out what happened. Step one in a difficult conversation.
Would you like me to do? You're looking at me. Why are you looking at me?
Oh, yes.
I'm not even on the camera. I'm not even on screen.
It's just hard not to look. You've seen him. Could you really manage not to look at him if he's in the room? I'm going to try. It's going to be great discipline not to look at Michael Mack. Sort out what happened. Where does your story come from?
Are you asking me?
No, this is, we can do that with what's been happening between us. Where does your story come from? Information, past experience, rules, and theirs.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
I know, but I'm so glad you have an open mind to discover.
I am happy to. Can we unpack what you just said?
Yes.
So to help me understand, because I'm not smart, like you. I didn't graduate from Columbia University. University of Chicago. The Department of Columbia.
No, the Committee on Social Thought. Where does your story come from? And where does your story come from? So how would you sum up, since you're such a fan of summing up? Boy, it's nice to get angry at people. But no, it feels bad, actually. You didn't feel bad.
I'm enjoying it.
I felt
have at it.
I felt a little...
Let your real self come through.
No, there wasn't. I was imitating you, and I feel sad talking about it.
Imitating. Well, you're doing a poor imitation of me.
Thank you. Flattery will get you everywhere. So...
May I sum up this entire
No. I'll hold it, almost. I was going to ask you, could you sum up what's been happening between us on this show?
That's so vague and general. Okay, I will try. We came onto the show. Our technician set up the show, set up the camera shot, and then we...
I wasn't going to ask you that question. What is the heart of our interaction on the show?
I don't know what you're asking then.
Oh, actually, maybe it isn't a good question. Maybe one of the things is you wanted me to sum up this book in 1 or 2 or 3 sentences, right?
Yeah.
And
is that so hard?
Yes, for me it is.
Would you like me to do it?
Sure.
Okay. This book, Difficult Conversations,
which he hasn't read,
offers a method for 2 or more individuals who are confronting a difficult topic, a method for navigating this topic so that they have a better understanding of each other and the topic itself by the end.
Yes. Very good. Now the hard part,
and I haven't even read it.
I haven't even read it. The hard part is, what is the method?
Great question.
Oh, thank you. Finally.
Great question. All I wanted to do was give a brief summary before we got to the checklist, before we got to the method.
Now I understand you better.
Great.
Which is good. I understand your story, your perspective better. I did.
Great. Great.
So the first.
So now we're coming to the method.
The first step in the method is to sort out what happened and to hear where your story comes from and mine. And maybe about this particular interaction, do we have any story about what was going on?
I felt that a summary was essential before talking. A summary about the method was essential before talking. And before presenting the method.
And I have learned.
And you what?
I have learned from you. That was very helpful.
That a summary was good.
I wouldn't call it a summary. I would say it would be
an introduction.
An aim, what the book is aiming for.
Yeah.
That's what. So the word summary confused me.
Fine.
Thank you.
But you like the idea of having some kind of brief introduction to the book before launching into the method.
Yes.
Great.
So the first step of the method is
great.
The second.
How many steps are there?
Oh, there's many. That's why it's hard.
Oh, come on, man. You can do better than that. How many steps are there? I see 1, 2, 3.
Oh, those. Oh, I see. 5 steps. Thank you. You're right again.
So, was that so hard? 5 steps?
Well, with your help, it was easy.
1, 2, 3.
He's happy.
4.
He's happy.
5.
He is happy. Step number 2, we'll leave out the. You've taught me. Check your purposes and decide whether to raise the issue. Now, I didn't read step 1. I didn't have it right. Step 1, prepare by walking through the 3 conversations.
Okay.
The 3 conversations are what happened from both of our perspectives, what emotions came up, and what identity issues are at stake.
Okay.
Like, are you a good person? Are you a good interviewer? A good friend?
Am I Terry Gross?
Is
that my identity?
So maybe that's it. So that's step number 1. We might slip it in, thanks to Michael Mack. Step 2, check your purposes and decide whether to raise the issue. Right? There's many things you'll let pass. Step 3.
Pick your battles, as they say.
Yes.
You may decide, not a battle.
Yes.
Not a difficult conversation.
The 3rd step is interesting. Start from the 3rd story.
Now, I don't know what that means. And in our remaining 3 minutes, we might not have a chance to go too deep into it.
How would a supposedly mediator, not supposedly,
an intermediary,
describe what has happened, hearing your story and my story about what happened?
That's good.
Yeah, that's good. And we're doing it. Step number 4.
Thank God we had that summary.
Thank God for you.
Thank God.
Make me not get lost in the trees and not see the forest. Step 4, explore their story and yours.
The 2 of you together?
Yes.
The 2 or more of you together? Okay.
A lot of listening.
Yeah.
A lot of not I'm right and you're wrong. But there's your story and there's mine.
Not either or, but both and.
And then reframing things.
Finally.
Right.
And then finally, the final step.
And refraining means to look at it, if you keep talking about it without blame. Even if you blame me, have you blamed me for this? You have said...
Was I blaming you?
You said it sounded maybe...
That might have been your internal voice, but go ahead and say it.
That's what you're doing, reframing. I might have heard it as blame, but you were not blaming.
I would never blame you. Ever. Not ever.
Want to buy a BU bridge from this man? You don't usually blame.
I'm not a blamer.
No.
I'm not. I'm more likely, if I'm going to blame anybody, I'm going to blame myself.
You once told me a moving story. I don't think we have time. Number 5 is problem solving.
Yeah, so this is the last step.
Yeah, so the 5 steps, you can read them.
All right.
So
Step 1, prepare by walking through the 3 conversations. What happened? What are the emotions involved? And what identities are at stake? Step 2, check your purposes and decide whether to raise the issue. Maybe it's not even worth raising. Step 3, start from the 3rd story, as if you were a mediator. What would you see? How would you describe it as a mediator? Step 4, explore their story and yours. And finally, last step, problem solving. So there it is. Difficult conversations in 27 minutes. Wrap it up.
And you were so helpful. It was a difficult conversation, as you saw, and we went through it.
Somehow we solved the problem.
Thanks to Michael Mack.
And thanks to Michael Koran.
Well, you're being kind.
Amen.
Hallelujah.